Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Do you like gaming in a chronological way? Welcome everyone to October 1982. We were last checking out Maze on the Commodore VIC-20. That's right, all the video games in 1982 just have one word, usually in the title. Just kidding. Let's press forward and see our next game. Coming up next is also on the Commodore VIC-20, and this is Meteor Blaster. Let's check it out. Starting with the box. Meteor Blaster. So VIC-20 had lots and lots of titles that were usually included in compilations or parts of games, and we've seen quite a bit here on the show. This one is a standalone game. Right here, this is the cover of Meteor Blaster. It actually looks more like a Star Wars style game. Very, very nice. Yes, welcome everyone to October 1982. And that's all we have for artwork for Meteor Blaster. Let's pop it and play. This one is by Terminal Software and R.W. Stevens at sometime at the beginning of October 1982. This marks our 284th game on the Commodore VIC-20, and Terminal Software's fourth game that we've seen here on the show. Looks like we can move left with period, right with the slash, and then laser fire, but you know what? Joystick controls work, so let's go. And we're in. And it just jumps right into it. We are a massive shit. Look at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to avoid... Yeah, we're smashing into things, but thankfully I don't blow up in one hit. There is no turbo fire. I have to mash my Commodore VIC-20 joystick really, really fast to get the shots to come out. But you can't... You do have rapid fire. I mean, look at this. Look at this firepower we have. I have freedom of movement, too. It's not just fixed to one screen. I'm moving left and right, and not only is the screen scrolling up, but it's also just a little bit scrolling back and forth, even though it's wrapping around the screen. How close is that wrap? Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much on one screen, but allowing a little bit of movement left and right. It's not really scrolling left and right, it's just wrapping around. But really cool effect, though, because most of the games we've seen as far as shooters go up to this point have been, you know, left to right scrolling, defender and scramble style. This one is vertical. And there are meteors all over the place. Actually, with the title Meteor Blaster, I thought this was educational, but nope, it is actually just blasting meteors. Uh-oh, was I supposed to blow? Was I supposed to blow out the fuel? I don't know. But oh man, there's so much. Look, my hitbox is massive. It's taking up, what is that, a third of the screen? No, it's a half. It's a half of the screen. This is nuts. I won't be able to make it through. At least I don't die in one hit. I'm being smashed over and over again, and it doesn't kill me instantly. Oh, and there you go. I guess one of the alien shots will kill me instantly. Wow, so it went through a few different modes. We had an alien that we shot. I kind of want to play more because of how quick this is. This is kind of fun. On the Commodore VIC-20, you would have a lot of fun with this one. Yeah, I'm with you, Errol. This is kind of cool for the VIC. And we even have the screen shake when we get smashed. And since we don't blow up immediately when we're shot or when we get hit with the other meteors, it's like we can just keep going like we're a tank flying through the galaxy, which you don't really experience that much right here with shooters in October 1982. Most of the shooters, one hit and you're gone. I'm about to be gone though if I keep getting blown up. You do have to dodge a lot. Really enjoy the firepower, though, this constant barrage I'm able to send out. From what I've seen with gameplay online, though, this is like many of the other games we've seen for home computers where the shooters aren't trying to incorporate a lot of elements or levels. So this is what you get to play. This is the game. But being able to move left and right without the screen staying in one spot is really, really cool for a home computer. We've seen this a few times in arcades and just rarely seen at home that you can play this way. That's awesome. All right, there you go. That's Meteor Blaster, a quick taste of it. I'll buy that, William Shatner. Yeah, I'll go for it. So Reg Stevens, who did this one, also did Scramble with a K on the Commodore VIC-20 in May 1982. This one plays like a totally different shoot-'em-up, but vertical shoot-'em-ups are kind of rare. At this point, auto-scrolling like it was, you know, constantly moving us up at the top of the screen. We usually see the horizontal kind. On the home console, we've seen Worm War 1 on the Atari VCS, and then on the Apple II, we've seen Phantoms 5, which is very, very cool. August in 1980, and then Caverns of Mars is a really good one, but Caverns of Mars is scrolling us down on the screen rather than automatically scrolling us up on the Atari home computer in 1981. So because of the freedom of movement, I actually don't want to rate this one as low because it's simple. It's just a shooter, but works really very well. I'm looking over in the chat and I already see some ratings, 3.5 stars of all the games you can play on all home computers right now. If I was only rating for Commodore VIC-20, yes, I would say 3.5 stars. I see Manly with no flaws, yes, definitely, and then Brian with another 3.5. But because this is going against all the other computers that are out there, every micro and home computer, I'm going to say 2.5 stars for Meteor Blaster. It's around the average range for all the shooters or all the games you could play right now, but not a bad game. That's pretty nice. All right, let's see what our next title is. But wait, what's that on the television screen?
Magic experts have just created 4 new games for the Intellivision system.
4 new games.
But beware, Imagic's demon attack will destroy you.
There we go.
Atlantis will send you to a watery grave. Microsurgeon will put you in the hospital. And Beauty and the Beast will push you right over the edge. Imagic for
Yes, it will. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen, the 4th game on the Intellivision by Imagic. This is Microsurgeon. Let's see what Microsurgeon is all about. Here's the box. Microsurgeon. So this is a 4th game that we've seen by Imagic on the Intellivision, and this is the 45th game that you could play on your Intellivision. Mattel's home console has that many games out, competing alongside the other home consoles, Atari VCS, Magnavox Odyssey 2, Emerson Arcadia 2001, and so forth. All right, so this one is like the Beauty and the Beast game that we already played. This is only found on Intellivision. The other Imagic titles that we've seen, you could play on other consoles, like Demon Attack. This one, though, is just like Beauty and the Beast. It's only here on Intellivision. There you go. I don't know what to make of this, because if this came out where you saw this on the shelves, what would be drawing you to play this? Would you think you're going to be shooting something? Because that's usually the case with video games, and that's kind of what it has, a ship, you know, going in. But obviously it's doing the incredible journey once again, where they're miniaturizing yourself. You're going to fly inside the body and do things. But what exactly are you going to do with Microsurgeon? That's right, Ubicore. The one time I played this was, again, not with an overlay and not with a manual. So I'm excited to dive into this with the experience of what you would have had at the time in October 1982. I know, right? This is not trying to sell the... It looks more like we're playing a medical journal game. All right, we'll flip it over the back. There you go. Microsurgeon got a couple screenshots. Both views, the inside the body and then the status condition of the patient you're in. You're the Microsurgeon, fighting to save your patient from an incredible array of disabling presences. Down to the bottom right shows us our Intellivision home console with the disc we're going to be using. And it says 1 or 2 players, and this one's pretty cool because you can do 1 player, or you can play with a second player and cooperatively work together to fight all the antibodies and viruses and whatever the inside the body has. I know, right? I literally want to dive into this, Brian, definitely. So, same box we've seen by Imagic. Now, that obviously wasn't the real scan. That was a manufactured box. If you got the real box, you have that cool Imagic shine to it. So this is a scan of what you would have seen. Well, a scan now doesn't give it justice of what the real Imagic box is like. All right, here we go. This is the back of the box, and there you go. The back of the box that I have scanned, you can barely make out any of the words at the bottom. So thankfully, we got something that was reconstructed to check it out. And inside is also the overlays. You got to have that on your Mattel Intellivision. This is for the left player, and this is for the right player. Now, if you wanted to play by yourself, you can hold both hand controllers at the same time and play. And we'll get into how that would work when we boot up the game. There's our Mattel Intellivision, included with the disc. That is the controller that, it's all right. I prefer the Atari VCS joystick. I know, right? And then we have the cartridge, the Imagic cartridge. Same of the cartridges we've seen on the Atari VCS. They have a different look and feel than the usual carts you'd plug into your Mattel Intellivision. Yeah, I love it. And then the screenshots are inside the human body. Let's take a look at the manual for Microsurgeon. It has a broadcast and a story. So not only is this a medical simulator per se, I guess the simulator would be the best way to put it at this point in time. And they even have a lore or story that goes with it. I love it. Thank you, Doctor. There's our table of contents. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the longest manual we've played for any game on the Mattel Intellivision. And it makes me feel like we're going to have to read a medical journal to go through this. I mean, look at that. And they even have, look at that, inside a nice picture of the human eye. Like it's real. We're going to be real doctors playing the game. It's part of we're going to be part of the microsurgical staff, the team of expert microsurgeons. We're going to be miniaturizing ourselves and going inside the human body, going through all organs, and our objectives are keeping track of the patient's status, eliminating disease and infection by shooting appropriate medication from the robot probe, pilot the probe out of the body before your power runs out. Good luck to us both. And this first page is kind of nice. The quack surgery section gives you just a quick rundown of how to play the game because it can be pretty complicated. Right now, this is a very complicated home console release. Now, the medical simulator game, we'll go into the other ones we played at this point in the show, so it's not brand new. We played other games that try to be a medical simulator, but it tells you how to play the game, plug the cartridge in, turn the console on, and then when you get to the main screen, you can pick what kind of patient you want. And there is a long list, 200-something patients that you can go that'll randomly be selected, and you can just choose how easy or difficult you want the patients to be, or how run down you got to shoot things inside the human body. You move the probe around with the left controller and then dispense medications. If you have the left controller, you can do the dispensing medications, but if you have a friend or if you want to hold both controllers, you can be moving and shooting at the same time. Not quite a twin stick shooter, but it does have that functionality. So there you go. There's the both overlays. You can plug in or slide over the numpad. Make sure that you have the numpad over the right one because they are designed for the left or right. And then there's all our console controls. So that just broke down the easy way to play the game. And then it begins with all the details. Like this is breaking down the different difficulties, basic, intermediate, and advanced difficulty. Then we have our status chart and what all that means, what everything's displayed on the screen. You can switch from status chart to inside the human body. Man, they got some great pictures in this manual. Piloting the probe through the human body. And it's really simple. You just move the disc around and you can shoot. This shows you all the different diseases. We can shoot with our ultrasonic ray, with antibiotics, or with aspirin. Ultrasonic ray pretty much takes care of all diseases, except you got to have antibiotics to take care of bacteria, and then aspirin to take care of viruses, which are both colored green. And then white blood cells happen if you don't fly around in the designated areas. So you want to be able to move your probe around the circulatory system. In other words, all the places that are red, purple, and orange only. If you're staying in those areas, then no white blood cells will try to attack you. Really, really cool, though, that this is in a game on a console. This is so cool. All right, so status changes during microsurgery shows you what all things can happen. And you can see this manual is very, very long, explaining everything. It even has a map of the human body in the game. You can see there's the human head, and then if you wanted to, you could have the poster and have this laid out while you're playing the game because you can navigate through this whole thing. It is a really impressive map just in general for a home console to have. Look at that. So cool. So here's our score, because by the time you reach the end, if you're able to successfully finish the surgery, get out of there before your power runs out, then you're rated on how well you did. All this, look at this, still going. It's talking about our robot probe power, any surgical tips like it does with some home console games. But there's so much information in this. This seems like we need to be a doctor to be able to play the game. All right, and there's the glossary. What's cholesterol? Well, here you can find out in the glossary. And then all the different places you can go, the ear, the eye, the gallbladder, gallstones, heart, intestines, everything. What a manual. It is a medical journal, at least from October 1982 standards. And then we have the magic form and the back of the manual. Way to go. Man, that's incredible. That was a Richard Levine that did this one. Let's pop in and play some Microsurgeon. This is a magic. It's sometime at the beginning of October 1982. The only other game we saw Richard Levine do was PBA Bowling in 1980. This is the second game on the Intellivision, or second game we've seen him do here on the show. All right, so I want to start with an easy operation. So I'm just going to push number 1 on my numpad, And then it begins with our easy patient, number 1. Shows us where we are right now in the eye, what the status is, and then power we have for our system. And then you can see all the different places in the human body that we want to go, because right now the lungs are looking pretty serious. Heart's looking pretty serious. And then everything else is good. So let's head over. Oh, the brain's serious. Okay, let's go to the brain first. So what you do is you switch from the status view, or the patient status, to inside the body. And then now we're here. I'm that little tiny dot. That's my tiny probe moving around inside the human body. Let's go over to the brain. I can see some bad brain activity, and you got to blow it away. But you have to make sure you stay within this certain colored areas, because then the human body will think that you are a problem. There it is. White blood cells coming to attack, but you can fight back and destroy them. And we have a very silently thumping, it's very quiet thumping heart in the back. I can barely hear it. You can see make our way through this way. I want to get over to this side. Can I just blow? Yeah, there we go. Blow myself through there. And I'm playing right now with one controller. Usually when we play games on the Intellivision, we came across a couple of them that allowed you to move and shoot at the same time, where you'd move with the disc and then shoot with the number pad. And we saw it with Night Stalker and Discs of Tron. This is the first game on the Intellivision that actually allows you to use 2 hand controllers to play at the same time. So you can move and shoot essentially like a twin stick shooter, except it's more like a twin disc shooter because it's the Intellivision. So you see what you're supposed to do. You check the status condition of your patient, then you move around as your ship inside the human body and try to blow away or clear away all the problems. You can see I have some more things to destroy over here. Let's make my way through the brain. And then over on this side, we got some more over here. I'm just firing my ultraviolet ray. Go, go, go. Yeah, knock it out. Nice. So you can see, what's our status now? How's the brain look? Brain's looking good. Okay, brain's looking good. So the lung and the heart are looking serious. So we'll go back to this mode. And if you want to speed yourself up, there's a speed up by tapping this button. And then your ship moves much faster than the human body, but then you risk leaving the places that will be dangerous. So let's head on down. I think that's the ear on the left side. I don't have the full map in front of me, but you can see over there we got a few viruses. And if you need to, you just use your number pad, switch to like antibiotics, and then you'll be able to use, let's see, there's my ray. Okay, let's switch to antibiotic and then fire a couple of these to blow. Oh, they left. Cool, we scared them away. So this game is very similar to another Intellivision title with its scope. It reminds me of Utopia on the Mattel Intellivision, a game that has no right to be on a home console. I couldn't imagine this selling a lot because this is very bizarre. The shooting elements obviously are pretty simple. You could understand how that works. It's like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. It's a game that shouldn't be on a home console right now. All right, did I pick the wrong one? Okay, there we go. Now I'm on my right. Antibiotics. So I should be able to blow them up. But I love how ambitious this is. I love the way the game plays. It's slightly slower paced, but this is still refreshing to play a game so different and on such a large scale. So we switched to antibiotics. We're now taking out some of the bacteria. I don't think we've seen a virus yet. If we see one of those, then we have to bust out a different treatment. I know, I wish surgery was this cool. There's a virus. Let's switch to it. Can we take him out? All right, I think we're all right. And let's switch over to our status. How are we looking now? So lungs are still serious. I remember how to get to the lungs. Okay, we got a few more you can take out over there. So make our way around. Just to think of playing inside of a human body like this is so cool. This is amazing. You would have a lot of fun, even if you were just a fan of Operation. This would be really cool. All right, and then we switch to antibiotic and take out this bacteria. There we go. And keep blasting and moving your way around. So if you were an action fan and you only wanted to play a shooter, I can understand how you think this is slower than other shooters, but you have to think of the scope of the map that you're able to move around. It's really, really nice. All right, I believe this is the lungs down here, because that's his shoulder over on the left side, or her shoulder. They haven't really said if it was a a guy or a girl. All right, we switch to our... Now we're going to make the lungs feel much better. But I think I'm in a bad position. Yeah, white blood cells are coming after me now. And you have to keep it in touch or keep track of your power, how much you've used while you're piloting the ship. And the first level, this one's fairly easy. To move around and fix all the problems inside the body and then get out. And then... To tell you the truth, I've never gotten to the end of the game. How do you get out of the human body? Do you go back out of the mouth, or do you go back the bad way? They wouldn't have that in a video game, would they? But they give you plenty of power to move around, fire all the shots, fix everything. Oh, these lungs are just terrible. This guy's definitely a smoker, but everyone was still a smoker in 1982. Let's keep going. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, let's switch it back and see what we're looking like now. All right, lungs are still serious. I think I gotta go to the other side. Because we got 2 lungs. Can I make it over there quick, fast enough? And there is a few bacteria over on this side, but it's not that bad. So you get the idea. This is the way the game is played. You move around through the human body, and while we're not gonna be able to finish a full surgery for the easiest patient, it is still really, really fun. For someone who's played everything on the Intellivision and checked out everything on a home console, this is great. I think this is an excellent title. For medical simulators or other games we've seen so far, one of the first ones or biggest one was Microbe in February of 1982. Microbe essentially was an actual game made by a medical surgeon that wanted to show you what it's like to treat a human body, but it's still the same idea, miniature scale, but not nearly as fun as this. And that was on the Apple II. And as far as games that have you shrunk down, there's lots of them, but most of them were just simple shooters, like Microscopic Journey on the Apple II in August 1982. And then would you consider Tooth Invaders an inside the body, like miniaturized game? Because it's not a shooter like this. It's, running around brushing teeth. But we've played a few that are like this. It's also very rare to play an Intellivision game that allows you to play with 2 of the hand controllers. It's awesome. And the sound of the game, well, was a little quiet for us. It's essentially like we're being inside of a human body, hearing blood pump and sound effects and so forth. That was done by Dave Duran, so way to go, Dave. And we're going to see this one later on the Texas Instruments 99 4A home computer and the IBM PC. So while it didn't get released on other home consoles, we'll see it on other home computers. And I got to tell you, of all the games you could play right now, I'm looking over and see a 4-star rating. I have to agree. This is a 4-star game. Of all the games you could play right now on a home console, while it might not be everyone's cup of tea, you have to admire the audacity to be able to put all this in a home console game right now. Yeah, chiptune 4 for originality, yeah. And they keep it interesting. They still keep it fun. While it's a little slower paced, it's like playing Operation as a video game. It's really fun. All right, so after that, let's see what our next title is. Coming up next, it's again the Commodore VIC-20. We just can't escape. This is City Bomber. We don't have a lot of information for City Bomber, just a couple of screenshots, so let's pop in and play. This is by Vicsoft, published by Creative Software at some time in the beginning of October 1982. Not to be confused with City Bomber on the ZX Spectrum or Bomber on the VIC-20 and the ZX Spectrum, even though it's going to look pretty much the same. This is another title we've seen already, and it came bundled with a game called Minefield, so we're going to be playing both of them. City Bomber. All right, so hitting the key to start. It should look pretty familiar because this, ladies and gentlemen, is once again another Blitz variant. You fly across the screen, you push one button, you drop a bomb. Hopefully you drop a bomb at the right time and lower all the buildings far enough so that you can land flat. Very simple concept. This time we've played 15 of these style of games. Starting all the way back with Canyon Bomber that we played in the arcade in 1977. And here we are on the Commodore VIC-20 playing yet another Blitz game. And there's been lots of different kinds of ways you can play Blitz, but it's essentially the same idea. You're flying across the screen, you bomb things. And this mechanic is the same we've seen for other home computers. Flatten it all, and land the bomber. So after going from a really good, excellent home console game, this one for the home computer is middling because the gameplay is just very simple. It's just timing, can you time the one button fast enough? And it looks like we are not. You can see I didn't get those 2 buildings down, so we get to experience the crash. There it is, symbolizing the video game crash that's going to happen next year. So there you go, of all the games you can play right now on a home computer, I got to tell you, it's around the middling to low range. So bad of all the games so far. I'm seeing over in the chat 2 stars, 1.5. Yeah, this one marks the 4th game we played by Vicsoft, and some of the other ones we saw were, they looked like they were part of a compilation. But from my knowledge, this one is City Bomber bundled with another game called Minefield. So I'm going to say 1.5 stars of everything so far. Chiptune's with me. Yeah, between 1.5 and 2, definitely, Errol. I'm with you there. All right, let's keep going. Coming up next is the other one that's bundled with City Bomber. This is Minefield. Is it any better than City Bomber? All we have is a couple screenshots. Let's pop it and play Minefield, again by Vicsoft and published by Creative Software. This is the 9th game we've played. Well, now 10th, I guess. 10th game we played by Creative Software here on the show. And hit any key to start. Looks pretty similar to what we did last time. Okay, yeah, so you can tell it was bundled together because it kind of looks the same, at least the title screen. All right, so this one is a mine traversal game. All you do is you decide where you want to go. I'm in the bottom left corner is number 1, and then you use the numbers and decide which way you want to go. So if I want to go northeast, I just push number 3 on the keyboard. Oh, and my first one, I walked right into the mine. Hasn't happened on any of my playthroughs. Will it let me play again? Yeah, there we go. Yes. I would like to try again. Not very fair. And this one should be confused with Minefield that we already played on the Acorn Atom. This is a totally different one. And this one marks our 285th game we played on the Commodore VIC-20. All right, here we go. Mines. Let's try it again. Go 3. Okay, so you see I moved, and it tells me how many mines are around me. So somewhere there's 1 mine around me. And all I got to do is make it to the other side. So just do another 3. There's still 1 mine somewhere. There may be multiple. If you saw me when I died, it displays all the mines at the end. But right now, we're just trying to make it from one side of the screen to the other. That's it. And we just have to use these clues. So at my current position, there's 1 mine somewhere in those 8 directions. So I'm just going to try again and do northeast. Yep, there we go. So slowly moving across. This mine traversal style game. Okay, no mines. That's great. Let's go ahead and head this way. Straight east. No mines there. So you can say 0. Keep going. Okay, we got 2 mines. So it's possible that there is 1 mine in front of me, or another mine northeast, or another mine northwest, but I have no way of knowing which one it's touching. But I know for sure, because there's none there, they might all be in front of me. So I'm going to play it safe and go up. Okay, and we still have 2, so it still could be, let's still go up. Okay, we got 1 mine. Let's try doing northeast. So you see what it is? It's kind of like we're playing a puzzle game. Making it from one side to the other. But see, now, this one is a really old concept. Back in 1973, there's a game called Cube on mainframe that did this. And then in 1974, a game called Minefield on terminal that did this. And then Mine 8 in 1977 on mainframe that did this. So this is why this concept is so old. It's been around for a while. This is also found on the Sol 20 and the Commodore PET. So really old concept. So to play right now in October 1982, this feels pretty archaic. All right, let's keep going to the cross. I don't think I can make it all the way, though. No mines. Oh, we got 1. Now, I'm going to take the chance and say the mine is not right next to me. Okay, it's not. So we still make our way across. All we got to do is get to the other side. 2 mines. Let's keep going. 2 mines. Keep going. We only got 1. Go. We were 1 tile away, and we almost made it. And we did not. So there's all where the mines were located. Yes, Manly, this would have been very impressive in 1973. We've moved on since then. All right, so Minefield has been around for a long time. Here on the show, because we haven't played anything on mainframe or terminal or the Sol 20 and things like that, we haven't seen this style of game. This is the very first time we've seen it on the show, but it existed if you played it on those other computers. So I want to say, of all the games right now you can play this, it's tricky because it still could be interesting, but I'd still call this a bad game. Even though this works right, it is very simple strategy, borderline strategy, more like puzzle game. But I'm looking over the chat and I see 2 from Manly and I see 1 from Errol. Yeah, if you wanted your money back, remember this was bundled with the other one, the City Bomber game. So I'm still going to say, because this is our first Minefield traversal game, I'm going to say it's bad. but it's playable and it works. And I would understand if you had this as a combo, making it work or having fun with it. So I'm gonna say 2 stars. That's true. If it was bundled together, maybe I'll say 1.5 stars, somewhere around there. All right, so there you go. That's Minefield. And sadly, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause this evening. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me playing every single video game in order of release here on Chronologically Gaming. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, we're going to be traveling to Minos and navigating through more and more mazes, some of them with full 3D graphics real enough to cause claustrophobia. That's it for today, and like I always say, with enough practice, even you can become a video game champion. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.